Hello and welcome to round 12 of the TRR 2020 Championship, sponsored by Cholova7 and M Details. Tonight we've got two races as usual, this week in the XRG at SO5 South City Town Course for two 12-lap races. The first race will go off the results of qualifying, the grid for that will be set from qualifying, and the second race will be a fully reversed grid race based on the results of the first race. Tonight, in the commentary box, I'm joined by Thilo Falkenberg. Hi, Thilo.
Hello.
Thilo will be joining me tonight, and maybe for some future rounds, depending if he feels like it. But very nice to have someone else joining me for commentary this week. Qualifying is about to get underway. We will head to the game as soon as that happens. So yeah, Thilo, I guess you're now familiar with the format of these races. Have you watched any of the previous broadcasts? Are you looking forward to tonight?
I'm very much looking forward to tonight. Didn't have the chance to watch one of the earlier broadcasts, but I will have some time the next couple of days to binge watch.
Brilliant. Well, you're going to see one firsthand tonight, so hopefully it's a good one for you. Alrighty, so qualifying is now underway. Let's head to the track and get this show on the road. There's already been a crash and turn in the first corner, which is always fun. Alright, whilst the cars are making their way round to start their first flying lap, I'm going to quickly run down the order of the driver standings as they currently stand. We have Nico Pantola from Yes Motorsports on the hot spot out in front with 773 points. Then it's Gabor, his teammate, in second place with 744 points. Then it's Jan Bukowski from TRR in third place with Rick from Sidus in fourth. Tom Salmonen in fifth. Michael Malek in sixth from MRC. Then it's Kevin Pete, another NRT driver, in seventh. Sindra Silva, his teammate, in eighth. Yari Katila from World Class Lions in ninth. And Pedro from Roda Preza in 10th. Unfortunately, we haven't been provided with the latest team standings, so we'll have to fill you in on that at the end of the round or next week. Apologies for that. Anyway, the drivers are just about making their way to the last corner, so who's going to be the first person across the line? It looks like it's going to be Trespasser, so let's go on board with him really quickly. Trespasser starts his first flying lap. Down to the first corner then. Nice, lots of slide. He's being followed closely by G Pete at the moment. He's coming up to the first split time. Trespasser had the fastest time in practice, so expect some pretty good lap times from him. He's very, very handy in the GTI cars. I'm pretty sure the XRG and the XRT are his favourite cars in the game, so expect him to be right up there. As he makes his way round to the heaviest braking zone on the track, the downhill hairpin. We will go on board for a lap in a minute with one of the drivers. We just want to see who's setting the early pace, so we know who to watch out for after this first set of laps. SO5, of course, misses the longer back straight and the double left-hander down the hill. We just cut that section and head to this long sweeping final corner. Very tricky to get right in these low-powered cars, even for these low-powered cars. And out of the last corner he comes, and a cross start finish to set our opening lap time of a 1:41.2. He's beaten immediately by Gavin. Gavin Pete has set the fastest lap so far, 1:41.1. These cars, the tyres take a little bit of time to warm up, so a couple of laps just to get the tyre heat to where they need to be, and then we should start to see who's going to get pole. This is a 20-minute session. 5 minutes nearly gone already. Who are you keeping an eye on, Tilo?
I just kept an eye on Nico Puntola, who was briefly in the pole position, but now is overtaken.
Yeah, TJ has now taken pole away from him, provisional pole, with a 1:40.59. So TJ has been out of the pole seat, hasn't been that close to the front of the previous, the most recent qualifying sessions anyway. I have to think all the way back to the Kyoto, one of the races at Kyoto, where he was right at the front. But anyway, it's currently TJ ahead of Unite, and then it's Ayub from Born to Race in third, with Gabor in fourth, and then Pedro in fifth. Trespass all the way down in eighth at the moment, with Gavin in seventh. 31 cars have set a lap time, so another really well attended event we've got here today. I reckon Gavin's going to set another lap, but let's see if TJ's on a lap. He is. I wonder if he will set another lap after this. Trespasser is just about to start another lap, so we'll go on board for one lap with Trespasser. So he's just come around the first corner. We call this next corner turn 1, really. It's an actual braking zone, so through he goes. Plenty of slide. Now we're heading to this kind of bus stop section past the secondary pit lane. Bit of contact on the outside wall. Lots of slide. This isn't a particularly smooth lap. Now we head into the bus stop section. Dab of brakes just to get the car rotated, and he's going to bail on that lap. Yeah, not a good opening to the lap. There's a big train of cars entering the middle section here. They all need to string themselves out a little bit, I reckon. We're watching Gavin. He's currently down in fourth. Trespasser back up to third. TJ still out in front with a 1:40.59. Very respectable lap time.
Currently, the field is densely packed. If I'm not mistaken, the top 20 within 1.5 seconds.
Yeah, it's good to see that the field is really, really bunched up. It's a tricky combo, but the car is quite forgiving. You can really throw it about. But yeah, plenty of people within maybe like a second and a half, 2 seconds of each other. The whole field only separated by 3.5 seconds at the moment. It's really good to see. Here comes Elmo across start finish, starting a lap. Elmo currently down in 28th place. Let's see if TJ's on the lap, shall we? TJ is coming across start finish. Will he start another lap? Yes, he will. So we'll go on board with TJ, our current provisional pole sitter. He hasn't improved on that lap that he just set, but we'll see how he gets on here. Nice apex for turn 1. Clips the apex of turn 2 and hits the outside wall, so he might bail, he might carry on and do another one, but we'll just follow the lap round so you can get an idea of how it goes from the driver's eye. TJ's currently catching up to a WCL car. I think that'll be J.A. Catilla. Could be J. Catilla. It is J.A. Catilla that he's catching. Hopefully that won't be a problem. I think this looks a little bit like a cruising lap, to be honest. I think he'll be building up or trying to keep his tyres cool for another attempt. Coming up to halfway through the session. Yeah, this is a warm-up. So we'll see TJ attack another lap. Z-Man has gone second. So it's Road Appraiser followed by TRR followed by Road Appraiser at the moment. TJ, Zeban, Pedro. Yes Motorsport all outside the top 3 currently. Trespasser, then Gavin, then Unite, then Gabor. So Gavin able to split up the Yes Motorsport drivers. So here comes TJ approaching start finish for another flying lap. See what he can manage. And the lap he just set was a 1:43.4, so definitely a cool down lap. Through the first kink, the car's exiting pit lane. They'll have to get out of his way. Hopefully they realise that they've got someone on a hot lap behind. Yeah, that's Ben moving out of the way.
Currently, the top 40 cars are within 2.8 seconds.
TJ aborts that lap. He made the same mistake on that lap as he did on his previous attempt. But yeah, as Tilo was just mentioning, you have to go down as far as 28th place to see anyone outside the 41s. So really close field this week. 40 cars have set a lap time at least. So we're looking like the second week in a row where we're going to have an absolutely packed out grid. Fantastic attendance once again. We're watching MRC Mega. MRC Mega currently down in 30th. See if he improves with this attempt. Got Unite actually approaching the last corner. Let's see if we can go on board with him. Yeah, so here comes Unite across start finish. He's on his 4th lap. I wonder if he'll try and set another one after this. Upsas has taken pole. Yes, Motorsport Upsas has set pole, provisional pole. It's a 140.48 by Upsas. So, yet again, Yes Motorsport doing the business in qualifying. Unite currently down in 9th. I expect he will want to join his teammate at the top of qualifying. Who wouldn't?
Plus, you don't want to have your teammate half a second in front of you after the qualifying session.
No. Here comes Unite then, round the last corner. Big slide on entry. Quite wide on exit actually. So I'm not sure whether this will be an improvement. We will see. He's currently done a 140.95. What's it going to be? It's a 141.6, so definitely not an improvement. This is probably Unite warming up more than anything. TJ currently in second place. Just see whether TJ is actually on a lap. He is. This is a hot lap. This is his second time past the pits. Takes a nice wide entry, so this will be him building up for another attempt. Pedro has taken pole, provisional pole, with a 140.45, so it's definitely turning into a battle between Road Appraiser and Yes Motorsport for the pole position. We'll see if TJ makes that same mistake he's made on the last few laps, always into turn 2 where he's hitting the wall. A bit wide for turn 1. Not the smoothest of entries. See if he avoids the wall here. Just about. Doesn't hit the wall on the exit, so this is already a better attempt. Upsas retakes pole. It's changing all the time. TJ clouts the wall again. Quite wide on entry to the bus stop. Maybe still needs to get some heat into the tyres. This car really is difficult to warm up. You do need to give it a few laps, especially with such a packed field. You can't really afford to be doing much weaving to get get heat through the tyres. Pole time currently at 1:40.29. Pedro in second place with a 1:40.45. Then it's Ayub. TJ's aborted that attempt again, so TJ not having much luck right now. Someone else who's absolutely flying right now is Zeban, who, as I said that, aborts his lap.
Commentator's curse strikes again.
Yeah, we've got a bit of an incident going on here between Trespasser, Michael, and who else is there? Someone else in there. Not good to see racing during quali. Let the faster people through. People who are on a lap need to be given priority. But if you're catching someone who's also on a lap, then you just need to accept that it was bad timing. You need to let them finish their lap without interfering. We'll keep an eye on this.
I mean, it's easier said than done. There are 40 cars on a track that's just 1 minute and 40 seconds long in lap time. So there's always going to be some form of... But yeah, there's no need to go 3 wide through the bus stop section or to bump draft on the back straight.
Definitely.
Currently in the picture is Teamwork
TRR
Racing.
Yes. Sorry, Crin is on screen currently. 3 minutes left to quali. Just about. It's all changing at the top again, as Crin has a pretty botched hairpin there and has to abort the lap again. Upsas on pole still, followed by the two Road Appraiser teammates of Paolo and Pedro. I don't recognise Paolo, maybe a name change from one of those drivers, but Paolo currently occupies second place, followed by his teammate Pedro. Ayub in fourth, TJ in fifth, Zeban in sixth. Then it's Yes Motorsport trio of Unite, Gabor and Trespasser, with Gavin of NRT in 10th. You have to go all the way down to 32nd place to find the first driver outside the 141s. That's TCR Adam. We will run down the full order of qualifying and the subsequent grid for race 1 once qualifying is over in just a couple of minutes' time. Upsas still leading the way. 1:40.29 is the time to beat, and people who are currently on a lap, this will be their last lap. Anyone who leaves the pits now will not have time to set another lap. We're on board with Adam. Well, we're watching Adam, see if he can improve from his current 32nd place Thinking back to last week, Adam did very well in race 2. Sorry, not race 2, race 1. In the FZR at Aston. So a little bit of a change to see him all the way down the back of the grid. Adam improves, but only to 28th. So Adam will have time to set one more lap. He's coming up against a bit of traffic, but hopefully this traffic is also on a lap, because it's everybody's last chance now. Currently occupying the last spot on the grid is Kid. This is Kid's first outing in the TRR Championship. Good effort, Kid. Adam very sideways up the hill. Road Appraiser now have 3 drivers inside the top 4. Paolo, Pedro and TJ, 2nd, 3rd and 4th. Really impressive from those guys. Adam throws it into the hairpin as traffic moves out of the way. Lots of drivers who we'd expect to see at the front are not at the front of the grid. This is a very, very tightly fought battle here. As Adam exits the last corner and he's going to come across start finish. Will it be an improvement? 28th, and he does not improve. Qualifying's over. Just waiting for the last few cars to cross the start finish line, and then we will run you through the order, which will set the grid for race 1. That's everybody across the line, I believe. So, round 12 of the TRR 2020 Championship. Race 1 looks as follows. Yes Motorsport Upsas with a 140.29 will take pole position ahead of the Road Appraiser trio of Paolo, Pedro and TJ. Then it's Born to Race Ayub in 5th, followed by Team Up Racing Ziban in 6th. Then it's Yes Motorsport with Yes Unite, Yes Gabor and Yes Trespasser occupying 7th, 8th and 9th. Then it's Gavin Pete from NRT in 10th, Reject from Born to Race in 11th, World Class Lions Jay Catilla in 12th. Then it's Rick Cardle from Sidus in 13th, he won't be happy with that qualifying. Then it's Erotica from GG in 14th, S Silver from NRT in 15th, Success Frank was driving for RDSR last week, but has switched back to Success again by the looks of it. He's in 16th. World Class Lions P. Koivunen in 17th. NRTT Salmonen in 18th. Born to Race Ivor in 19th. MRC Michael in 20th. NRTT Paulson 21st. J.A. Catilla from WCL in 22nd. Then it's Master Race Car Gemini in 23rd. Race Green Mandula and Race Green Magic in 24th and 25th. Gustas in 26th. TRR Classic in 27th. TCR Adam in 28th, Jay Catilla from WCL in 29th. Then who's that in 30th? I can't read that name. Can you tell me who that is, Tilo? In 30th place?
Does he have a starting number?
A few drivers haven't used their correct starting number. I believe that's also not a correct starting number. We'll skip that. I'm not sure what's going on there. Mega is in 31st. Hydro from TRR is in 32nd. Then it's Ben in 33rd. Geraloco 34th. Redbot 35th. Energy in 36th. Elmo 37th. Simjintas in 38th. Kryn 39th. And Texas in 40th. So Kid actually pushed off the grid in the end. 41 or 42 drivers have attempted qualifying. Kid will not start the race.
Yeah, there were 43 drivers. Kid in 41st. Tepari in 43rd as the one who got kicked out in, and Firekstar in 46th. second.
Right, thank you for that. So a few drivers not making the grid, unless a couple of people don't choose to start. That will be our grid for race 1. Those drivers will be allowed to join race 2 if there aren't enough spots. Well, if there are spots available for them after race 1. Just a reminder to all drivers, if you do fancy an interview with one of us after any of the sessions, feel free to join the TRR Discord. Those of you who are watching who are thinking about getting involved, you can sign up on the LFS forum. The league runs all year. There are 50 rounds. This is only round 12. So there's still plenty of time to get involved, plenty of time to climb through the leaderboard. You can sign up on the LFS forum in the TRR 2020 Championship League section. First race is due to start in just a moment, but this is going to be quite a titanic battle. We have, in qualifying, there were 13 drivers who set a time in the 140s. For a further, gosh, how many? Further 19 drivers in the 41s. So plenty of quick drivers out there. It's a technical lap to get right. We've got 2 12-lap races, so plenty of action to be had. It's going to be quite difficult to overtake. The main opportunities for overtaking will be down the 2 long straights. You want to get in the slipstream out of the hairpin, get a nice exit, be alongside for the long 90 left at the end of that back straight, and then there'll be a drag race down the home straight up towards turn 1. The race is underway then. Race 1 is underway. We're going to go on board with our pole sitter, Yas Motorsport Upsas, as he will lead this 40-car grid away. Away they go. Upsas leads everyone away for the first time. The 3 Road Appraiser drivers file in behind. Ayub stays in line in 5th. Down the hill they come then for the first time. Let's see what happens into turn 1. Everyone needs to keep it clean. We've already got 3, 4 wide in the background. Plenty of cars filing, making their way through. Relatively clean so far. Nice to see. Upsas already under pressure by Paolo. But he's managed to make a bit of a break.
Yeah, Paolo was nearly ahead of him at the exit of turn 1. But I must say, it's such a gorgeous sight to have so many cars on track at the same time.
I have to agree with you. This is a good, very, very nice turnout. Everyone making their way down the hill. No big incidents to speak of just yet, touch wood. But we're heading to the big hairpin, the big braking zone. I can hear lots of metal bashing ahead, but it does look like people are making their way out fairly
Oh, a
well.
spinner in the background.
I've spoken too soon. We have someone in the wall there. Minv. This was the driver that I didn't know, couldn't read the name in the in the results screen. That's a lot of damage on that car. Upsas completes lap 1. Paolo and TJ follow suit with Pedro behind. Ayoub's dropped down behind Unite and Zeban, so Ayoub did not have a great start. He's dropped a couple of places.
And Unite on the inside into turn 1.
Yeah, Unite versus Pedro as they come up to turn 2. Unite has to drop back behind. Cars side by side behind. We've got 2 other Yes Motorsport drivers with the Pikachu livery, Gabor and Trespasser, in a battle. Trespasser trying to line up Gabor. Gabor hits the wall. Trespasser's going to go for it. He makes the move on the inside. If Gabor can stay alongside. Nope, Trespasser's got past. Gives a bit of a flash of his hazards to say thank you very much to his teammate. What a sight it is to see so many cars making relatively good progress actually during this race. No incidents, very clean driving on the most part. Here we've got Elmo. Sorry, not Elmo. This is Adam. It's almost 3 wide. Probably will be by the last corner. This is Adam, J.A. Catilla and Classic. Adam side by side with J.A. Catilla on the inside. Classic's going to try and follow Adam through. He's now side by side with J.A. Catilla.
But very smart of Classic to not go 3 wide there. And now he's got the inside, and maybe he's going... No, he's just lacking staying behind the TCR.
Adam's hit the wall though. Classic's up the inside. Goes late on the brakes, bit of slideways. Adam got tagged by J.A. Catilla, so J.A. Catilla's helped Classic out massively there. J.A. Catilla's back drops down now because he's been tangled up behind. So he drops back even further. Meanwhile, up front, Unite's making progress. He's now got past Pedro. So Upsas is still up front with a bit of a gap to Paolo. Then it's TJ with Unite, followed by Pedro. Then it's TRR Zeban, Gavin. Ayoub's down to 8th, having started 5th. Trespasser's made up a few places. He's down in 9th. Then it's his teammate Gabor, followed by Born to Race Reject. Then J.A. Catilla's there with Rick Cardle right up his trunk. Rick Cardle not able to make up too many places off the start. In fact, he might have lost a couple. But then there's a big gap, I think. Yeah, a little bit of a gap back to Silver with this trio of Erotica, Salmon and Michael making up the top 17. With J.A. Catilla now, sorry, that's P. Koivunen. P. Koivunen going very wide at last corner. T. Paulson behind him with Gustas rounding out the top 20. And then we've got this little gaggle. We've got Mandula, followed by Frank and Gemini. Adam side by side still battling with Classic. These two going hammer and tong. Classic's trying to line Adam up for a move into the first corner. Thinks better of it this time round. Then it's Ben. Then we've got Race Green Magic and Energy. As J.A. Catilla going very sideways again through turn 1. Geraloco. Then it's J.A. Catilla. Then it's Kid. Kid did make the grid, so Kid somehow managed to get on the grid even though he didn't qualify in the top 40. He's up to 31st. He's being followed by Simjintas, Texas, Kryn, MRC Mega. Then it's Redbot, Elmo down in 37th. He will not be happy with that. Then it's TRR Hydro and Min. So we have lost someone. We are down to 40 drivers, Tilo.
Yeah, but I don't know who we lost.
No,
there
it's
are
hard to
too
keep
many.
track. Yeah, far too many cars to keep track of everybody.
I mean, for some reason, Kid is on the grid, although he didn't make it. But yeah.
Yeah, Kid somehow stealing a grid position away from maybe someone who didn't feel like racing. Fair play. Unite is not content with 4th place. He's catching TJ here. Let's go on board with him as he tries to make this move happen. This is the move for the last spot on the podium. Really hard to follow and make a move through this section. United goes very, very deep in the bus stop and loses a bit of time on the exit through the chicane.
Yeah, he is too far back for the hairpin now.
Yeah, a little bit far. See if there's anything going on further back. We do have some cars side by side right at the back. We've got Elmo, who's battling with Kryn and Redbot, but this is all the way down for 35th to 37th. Got a few cars bunching up into the braking zone for the hairpin, but everyone's spreading out relatively.
Oh, Redbot in the wall, and now
Elmo alongside.
yeah, Elmo alongside, and now slightly ahead. Should be enough, yeah, to clear him completely into the braking zone.
Redbot's coming back at him though. Ooh, has a nose ahead. Elmo gives him the space and then wobbles into the wall, but Elmo is clear and up to 36th for now.
Really good to see battles throughout the grid. No one wants to be last.
Yeah, really nice. It's bunching up at the front. We have GP and Trespasser in a fight now. So Trespasser is trying to line up GP while Kevin's trying to line up Zeban. Everyone ricocheting off the walls a little bit. But so far so good, you have to say, with such a huge field, still 39 people running, and most of the cars look like they did when they started. Which is impressive, not only because it's South City, but also because there's 40 of the buggers. So, very nice. Trespasser all over the trunk of Gavin here. Will he make a move into the hairpin? I mean, he's got just over half the race left to make this move, so doesn't need to throw it down the inside just yet. Chooses not to. Gavin does go a bit deep on the brakes, and Trespasser gets a nice exit. Will he have a run? Doesn't look like it. Trespasser's been left a little bit in the acceleration zone.
Yeah, Pete got better out of the hairpin. But under braking, Trespasser is... Yeah, he got too close and lost it.
Yeah, that was unlucky. Runs a little bit wide, and now is it's all spreading out. It's all beginning to spread out.
But still more than halfway of the race done, and the whole field is still within half a lap of each other. So
yeah, it's really good to see. There's definitely two big packs forming. We've got the top 14 who are kind of gapping the rest of the field, but there's really nothing to choose between this pack. Everyone's kind of just settled down into their space, and people are going to be making minor gains, and they're just going to be waiting for incidents from the drivers ahead, little mistakes that they can capitalise on. We've got Jay Catilla.
yeah, side by side here with Reject.
Reject on the outside. Jay Catilla fudges the braking a little bit and has to move in, but he's going for the cutback.
Yeah, like Reject hit the inside wall, so he lost a lot of momentum there. but he seems to have the better line and the better acceleration.
Yeah. Can Jay Cotillo line him up out of the hairpin? Meanwhile, behind we've got S Silver getting very close to the back of Rick. Looks like that battle between Cotillo and Reject is neutralised for now. Let's go further back. Rick is moving.
Rick is attacked now by Silver on the little nudge there, and Rick goes into the wall.
To the wall indeed. Rick's still in 13th. I mean, he's been there or thereabouts the whole race, so kind of stuck in this stalemate position, not wanting to lose any more positions. That's for sure. See how Unite's getting on. Unite's dropped back a little bit, but you have to say that TJ is definitely catching up to his teammate Paolo now. This is starting to bunch up. Even Upsas is being brought back into play. So
and Unite was the fastest driver on the in the whole field in the last couple of laps. So this is really just bunching up at the front.
Good to see. 5 laps to go, soon to be 4 laps to go, and we have a battle on for basically the whole podium at this point. Upsas is not being allowed to get away. These drivers can still very much see that top spot, which hasn't been the case in most of the previous rounds so far. I don't remember a race where the top 4 were this close. Well, I don't remember a race where the whole field was this close in recent races. So really, really nice. Lap 9 complete.
Fastest lap again by Unite, 1:40.59.
This is going to get very interesting. This is the battle for second place we're witnessing here. Paolo out front for Road Appraiser, followed by his teammate TJ, and then Yes Motorsport Unite, who gets a nice exit but decides to lift. He's biding his time right now. He knows he's fast. He just needs to pick the right moment. He doesn't want to go for a move and it not pay off, and then he'll lose loads of time. Gaining time here is super difficult. I have a feeling Paolo's having some tyre trouble. He's washing very wide out of these corners. Possible he's pushed a bit too hard too soon. Upsas is getting away from him now.
Yeah, if we were looking at the lap times, Unite and TJ were the only ones able to go sub 40. But with Paolo now effectively doing the trolley train here. Oh, and TJ with some problems.
Yeah, doesn't get a great exit there, but somehow manages to keep it. Unite has to fall back in line, but he's going to have an absolutely monster tow if he can get a good exit here. TJ does get a good exit too, but let's see how this pans out. Unite versus TJ, the battle for third place. Unite's moving out of the slipstream. Nope, tucks back in. He's going to try it into turn 1, I think. Unite takes the shorter path, very sideways. Late on the brakes, he's making the move. TJ around the outside, contact. Yeah, this is what I said about Unite needing to bide his time. That's not paid off for him, and they've lost a bit of time to Paolo now. Only 3 laps to go. So, good attempt, but ultimately a little bit too sideways through the little kink under the bridge, and that's cost him. That move just didn't pay off. So he'll have to wait.
Oh, Paolo with very strange line through the bus stop.
Luckily he's got enough of a gap now.
Yeah, but he lost ton of track position.
Yeah, Upsas disappearing into the distance now.
By the way, we are down to 38 cars as Nevi joined the spectator.
Yeah, his car was damaged pretty much from the first lap, so decides instead of finishing and starting on pole that he'll just put the car in the spectators and he'll start the next race last. So just finishing this race will give you a front row start. but he opts to put it into the spectators instead. Unite needs to close that gap if he wants to have any sort of shot at the podium. Still all to play for at the front, but we are now down to 2 laps to go as Upsas crosses the line to start the penultimate lap of race 1. He's got a lot of clean air behind him. A lot of space to Paolo.
Yeah, and so has TJ to Unite for the moment.
Trespasser sent it on G Pete, and he's made the move stick, but that was very scruffy because G Pete's now going to get back through, and Ayub is going to have a go. Ayub on the outside of Trespasser now, and makes the move for now, hits the wall a bit, Trespasser ricocheting off him. Trespasser still has a nose alongside, but has to yield, so that did not pay off at all for Trespasser there. Gevin's disappeared a little bit, and now it's bunched up again. Trespasser's back with his teammate Gabor, so not at all good for Trespasser there.
Let's see if Gabor is making a move on Trespasser.
Doesn't look like it. Meanwhile, Rick has lost another place. Rick has moved down to 14th. Silver's managed to get ahead of him. And Silver's also managed to get ahead of Jay Catilla, so nice driving there. Silver's jumped 2 cars while our focus has been at the front. Not sure how that's happened, but anyway, Rick down to 14th place. Jay Catilla 13th, and NRT Sindra Silva in 12th position.
Meanwhile, the leaders are now in the final lap.
Yeah, we've got Upsas, and then Paolo, TJ, and Unite really have bunched up again, but there's just too much space still. They're taking hundredths out of each other every lap, but not enough to affect a pass. We saw Unite have a go at TJ a couple of laps ago, just didn't pay off into turn 1. It's really difficult to get past if you're at a similar speed to the drivers around you. You really have to, you can afford no errors when you're lining someone up. This is still the battle for the last 2 podium places, but you have to think that it's pretty much written if these drivers can make it the next couple of corners without incident.
I think Unite has lost it because of the bus stop section. He's now out of touch with TJ. TJ might be able to put a move on Paolo, but I don't think he's going to risk. And now he's too far away anyway.
Yeah, it's all neutral behind. There's a lot of close battles, but you just have to be so close to effect a pass in these cars. The closest cars on track at the moment it's Rick and Jay Catilla. Rick might be able to send it on Jay Catilla. He moves out of the draft, thinks better of it. Is he going to line him up out of the last corner? Rick takes the shallower line. Jay Catilla runs it out wide and just gets a better exit, so that'll be it. Upsas wins race 1, followed by TJ. Sorry, then it's Paolo, then it's TJ, then it's Unite. And we will run down the full order in just a moment. In fact, Tino,
TJ got around Paolo.
TJ got around Paolo for the end. We missed that. We might have to watch that back at the end of the event. Would you mind running us down the order?
The podium, Upsas, TJ, and Paolo. In 4th, Unite. Then Pedro, Jaban, Pete, Ayub, Trespasser, and Gabor making up the top. 11th is Reject, followed by Silver, Katila, Rick, and Eroitka. 16th for Michael, 17th Salmonen, 18th Koivunen, 19th Paulsen, 20th Madula. Then the next couple of spots, Gustash, Frank, Classic, Jero Loco, and J.A. Katila. In 26th, we have Gemini, followed by Adam, Energy, Kit, Ben, Mega, Magic, Elmo in 33rd.
Simgintas.
Sim,
I realise I'm throwing
thanks.
you in at the deep end here, reading out names you've not seen before, but you're doing well. Carry on, go on.
Simgintas in 34th. Then Texas, Kryn, Hydro, and in the 38th and last spot, it's Red.
Thank you for that. We've got Erotica who's in the waiting room channel. Let's drag him in and ask him how his race went. Hello.
Hello.
How was your race?
Well, hold on. Well, it was kind of difficult. Yeah, because actually it's really hard to order here.
You have to be very, very close to the person ahead in order to affect a pass. You have to either be faster than them outright or make your own luck by forcing people into mistakes.
Yeah, so I was the guy who did the mistakes at the beginning of the it was kind of difficult because I got passed like by two guys and it was frustrating for me.
But did you enjoy the first race? I mean, it's a fun
Yeah,
combo.
yeah, it was fun because I was chasing three guys. They were having a battle, so but in the end I didn't manage to catch them. But I hope next race will be.
So where will you start the next race? You finished kind of mid-pack, so
Yeah,
you'll have a mid-pack start for the next one.
I
yeah.
think you're starting in 23rd.
Well, I started this race at 14th, I think, so I lost one position.
That's fair enough. Well, yeah, hopefully you can do a similar job next race, or try and take what you've learned from this one and get a better result in the second one.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah, well, good luck with that. We'll speak
Thank
to you
you.
after the next race if you're up for it. Feel free to join in. Thanks for joining us, Erotica. Good luck with your next race.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Yeah, good luck.
While we are taking a break, I'm going to take this opportunity to announce that at the weekend we have the 4 Hours of Aston organised by the Teamwork Racing team. It's part of the Trail Over 7 Endurance Pros series. You can get involved on that by checking out the LFS forum, the TRR Championship section. The entire race will be broadcast live on Twitch by me, Tilo, Deco, and a couple of others will be joining us for the commentary and broadcast of that race that happens this Saturday. There's a 30-minute qualifying session starting at 5 CET, that'll be 4 GMT, and there's a 4-hour race at Aston Historic in the GT1 class, so that'll be the GTRs, the FXR, the XRR, and the FZR. It's a team event, but you can also enter as a solo driver. So if you fancy entering that event, you can find all the details on the LFS forum. We look forward to seeing you there. The sign-up deadline for that is on Friday, so there's still an opportunity to put a team together. There are currently 28 entries across two classes, so it's going to be a really, really nice event. Nearly 3/4 of a grid filled already, so if you fancy that event, get a team together or enter it as a solo driver for the 4 hours of Aston Historic at the weekend. Next week, TRR Championship 2020 will be going to Rockingham for two 15-lap races at the International Super Sports Car Circuit in the Formula V8. So a very, very, very complex, tricky combo next week, but hopefully a good one. So join us then. Remember, we're not done for tonight. We still have plenty of racing to go. My apologies for that. That was definitely the wrong board. The second race still to come tonight is a reverse grid. Another 12-lap race around SO5 with the XRG. And we'll bring you that in just a moment.
Yeah, and going by the first race, it's going to be very interesting to see how the fast racers who are now having to start in the very back are going to progress through the...
Yeah, it should be interesting. It's always an interesting format, this. It's going to be even more interesting today, considering how difficult it is to overtake at South City, especially in these very slow cars with basically no downforce. So there's not much aero, so not much slipstreaming. So yeah, the second race will be interesting. There's going to be tons of accidents, I fear, during the first lap, but we will see. Off we go then for race 2. Let's see who's on pole position. We have Redbot on pole, followed by Hydro on the front row. So Redbot will start alongside Hydro. This is going to be interesting. TRR Crin and TRR Texas on the second row. Sim Jintas and Elmo on row 3. Redbot's going to lead us away. Good luck, drivers. You're going to need it. Away they go. Redbot with a nice start. Here they come down the hill under the bridge for the first time. Side by side, Redbot and Hydro down into turn 1.
Oh,
Cars
and
off
the
in the background.
big spin, but no big one.
Oh, it's Salmon in the wall.
But it looks like everyone was in the wall and in another car.
Salmon still being pushed around by a WCL car there. That was JA Catilla. Gosh, there's so many cars, isn't there? It's hard to keep track of everyone. 2 WCL cars. That's JA Catilla in the wall. That's Trespasser making his way around the outside. Let's go on board and see what this looks like. Okay, there we go. Glad I did that.
Oh, Gemini is spun. But he was pushed out of the way by other drivers.
Yeah, I was on board with Trespasser when that happened, so that was fun. Lots and lots of door banging going on. This is proper touring car stuff. We've got 3 wide. 3 wide, 2 NRT drivers involved here. That's Silver and G Pete making their way from the back. Remember that they started very high up. G Pete sent it, absolutely sent it. Absolute pile up into the hairpin. 4 wide, 3 wide. Absolute chaos in the midfield. Big crash now between Classic's involved in that. This is a big crash down the field now.
Yeah, and it's involved. Again Minvi who got spun around. And Paulo and Pedro are now at the very back of the grid.
Ayub's gone down the pits. Yeah, Pedro also with the damaged car. He needs to, not Pedro, Paulo with the damaged car. He needs to bring that down pit road to get that repaired. Meanwhile, out front, Redbot from Crin, Hydro, Texas, Simjintas, Ben. Then it's Energy, followed by Elmo, Magic, Adam, Mega, Kid in 12th. Come on, Kid. Then it's Mandula, Yaroloco, Frank, T. Paulson. Side by side is Rick and Michael behind. So Rick and Silver are going to have another entire race.
Oh, and the background, Catilla was spun.
Jay Catilla spinning in the background, yeah. Trespasser makes the most of that.
Oh, and someone's going through the pit lane? Through the helping pit?
Yeah, Gustas.
Oh, Gustas.
Must have got it wrong and had to go down the support pits. That's a fun one. Meanwhile, Crin's just run into the back of Redbot, forcing Redbot into the wall. Yeah, Redbot not happy with that. Hydro and Crin are going to be all over Redbot now. Looks like Crin's going for the lead, or at least he's going to try to. No, Hydro's coming back at Crin. 3 wide. Nearly.
Crin is boxed in. He can't really make a move.
Yeah. Crin on the outside will have the better run onto the home straight. Hydro's still on his inside, but Crin will just run away with this. The TRR trio behind. We've got Crin, Hydro, and Texas all in a line here. So last race it was Road Appraiser in this position with Upsas out front, and now it's Redbot with TRR following behind.
Oh, and Hydro, a late move.
Spooks his teammate into the wall. In fact, Hydro doesn't actually make anything of that. We've got more metal crunching in the background. Got Energy side by side with Adam. Adam runs around the outside, taps the wall, but makes the move. Got Elmo and Adam right up in the front of this race. Kid's dropped all the way down to 31st, so he's had an absolute mare. As we've got, is that Jay Catilla backwards again? Big collision here. Jay Catilla backwards out of turn 2, has to spectate, so actually bails the car in the end. But maybe he was tagged, I don't know. But anyway, he caused a big pile up out of turn 2 for the second time. So not a good race for Jay Catilla at all. Redbot's opened up a bit of a gap.
Yeah, first time around, Catilla was pushed around, but we can't tell you how it was this time around. Last race we were astonished by how fresh all the cars were looking. Now you really see those battle scars on many of the cars running around.
Yeah, Minv with a very damaged car yet again, pinning Firexter against the wall there. Not very good spatial awareness from Minv at all. No wonder his car looks as damaged as it did last race. Upsas, meanwhile, our race winner from the last race, has made his way up to 21st from the very back of the grid. He's currently side by side with MRC Michael. So let's go on board with Upsas as he carves his way through the field from the back. 9 laps to go. Michael's car sponsored by Skittles. Upsas wanting some of that free candy, bouncing into Michael's car. But yeah, Upsas proving that it's very difficult to make any sort of headway on this track. He's made a decent start, but he's come into a roadblock now. He's got 20 cars in front of him, and he's going to struggle to make any progress unless he comes across a mistake or just sends it. Meanwhile, Mandula is lining up Energy out of the last corner. Might have a run on him. It's definitely close enough. Yep, he's going to move to the inside, but Energy has the toe of Elmo. He actually tags the back of Energy there. Energy's going for a move. Energy's gone for the move on Elmo up the inside. Elmo gives him plenty of space and carries the momentum out around the outside, which lets Mandula have another go. Mandula trying to switch back. Bit of tagging, has to brake. He's got a nose ahead, but he's going to be forced into a bad line out of the corner. That's going to open up the door for his teammate Magic to have a go potentially. Nose to tail through turn 2. Meanwhile ahead there's a move going on. Side by side, that's Adam, Simjintas and Texas. Adam side by side with Simjintas.
Simjintas was in the wall, and now Adam has a good run down to the...
Is he going to have to go late on the brakes, or will he stay behind? Adam's sending it.
Oh, Simjintas hit the back of Texas there, and now... Well, nothing really comes of it. It's amazing that these cars can handle some banging here and there.
Yeah, they're taking an absolute beating as Adam sends it up the inside of Simjintas contact. So a bit opportunistic there. Simjintas clearly not ready to have Adam up the inside. Side by side across the line though, as we head to 7 laps to go. Down into the first kink. This is the battle for 5th place.
Oh! There was a slight leg touch.
Yeah, but a little bit of side contact and Adam ends up forcing Simjintas into the walls. Adam's now under pressure from Ben. Yeah, that's what happens when you do door rubbing at 100 miles an hour.
And with some internet connections in between, because the touch itself was not too bad, but I think, yeah, due to connection, it was a bit worse than the touch itself.
Now it's Geroloco's turn to fight with energy. And Mandula is all over the back of Simjintas now. Redbot still out front, with TRR, Crin, Hydro and Texas following. Adam up to 5th after that contact with Simjintas in turn 1. Before turn 1, sorry. Mandula moves to the inside, across start finish, 6 laps to go, halfway through. He'll have the inside easily for the little kink, but hopefully he doesn't force his way into Simjintas. Simjintas gets very sideways, but Mandula makes the pass. Nice move. Did it better than Adam did. Managed to avoid any contact. Redbot comes past the exit of the support pit lane. Then it's a long train of Crin, Hydro, Texas, Adam, Ben, Elmo, Mandula, Simjintas, Geroloco, Energy, Silver's there now, T. Paulson behind. Then it's Rick, who seems to be unable to not finish a race in the low teens. He's in 15th currently, finished the last race in 14th, so he's a couple of places behind Silver, who he was battling with last race. Then it's Gavin Pete from NRT behind. And it's P. Koivunen from WCL battling with Yes Motorsport Upsas. So Upsas up to 18th. He's made 3 places since we last watched.
Yellow flag, someone... I think, yeah, Adam lost a lot of places. He's now down to 13th. He was standing there stationary in the exit of the hair.
So yeah, Adam was in 5th and he's now down to 13th. He hands 5th over to his teammate Elmo.
Redbot up in front by 4.5 seconds. I think that's the most comfortable gap I've seen all day here.
Similar to what Upsas's gap was at the end, but it's just all going off behind. There's way too much chaos going off behind. We've now got Mandula making a move on Elmo. Mandula gets past Elmo, takes over 6th place. There's now 4 TRR drivers in the top 5. Ben's managed to get past everybody, Mandula and Elmo, so whether that was something that happened in turn 1, I'm not sure, but anyway. Crin, Texas, Hydro and Ben from TRR occupying 2nd through 5th.
And Adam now on the outside of Energy. Oh, Simjintas in a half spin into the wall.
Oh my goodness. Adam's seeing all the action this race. Simgintas is dropping like a fly. Oof, gets rammed in the rear by P. Koivunen. The WCL boys are having their fair share of 3 wide. Yeah, Simgintas just has to bail. There's a huge pile-up happening now in the hairpin. Quickly move away from that. That was just too many cars into too little space. Kind of silly driving, to be honest.
Yeah, Simgintas got out of the rhythm in the bus stop section and never got into it again. And in the end, he missed the turning point for the hairpin and was then stationary on the inside wall.
Meanwhile, Rick is alongside Gavin, hits the wall, and Gavin gets ahead again into turn 1. This front pack is still incredibly close after 8 laps of racing. 4 laps to go now. Magic
Race
onside. Oh, Magic's been spun. That's Rick Cardle spinning into the support pits as well. Rejoins. Oof, cars everywhere. Oh, Rick nearly collected by Erotica. As Erotica was trying to make a move on reject and had to bail out of it by the looks of it because he had to avoid Rick rejoining. Rick down to 23rd, so really not a race Rick will want to remember.
But due to all this mid-pack drama, Upsas is now in 13th.
You're right, I didn't notice. Upsas is being very plucky here. He's managing to avoid all of these big accidents. He's all over the back of GP's. Is he going to make a move into the big hairpin? The last corner? We will see. Looks like both of them will have a run on energy here. Possible 3 wide over start finish. Yep. There's overlap, so this could be a bit of a crunch into turn 1. Yeah, Upsas has to brake to avoid making that 3 wide. Energy and Gavin alongside each other. No contact. Nicely done. GP will be up the inside for turn 1. He makes the move stick. Energy has a bit of a bump and that lets Upsas move alongside. Upsas up to 12th. That's opened the door for Koivunen to have a go at Energy now. Koivunen does the switchback, makes the move stick. Oh, a little bit of a tag. We're riding on board with Upsas as he follows Gavin down into the hairpin. He lifts off just to give himself some more options on the exit. He doesn't want to be right up the rear of Gavin, so he can get a nice exit like that. So it's probably going to be a move on into the final corner now. Gavin pulls back in front. Upsas will have to lift to get himself a nice run. We're on to the penultimate lap. 2 laps to go in race 2 of round 12 of the TRR 2020 Championship. Here comes Upsas. Moves to the inside. Brakes a little bit later than Gavin. He's got a compromised line. Gavin on the outside. Manages to hold it for now. Turn 1 doesn't seem to be going in anyone's favour today. It's quite weird to see. Turn 1's normally quite a good overtaking place. Silver's side by side with Elmo. And gets ahead So Silver's had a good race. Silver's managed to climb up quite well. Geraloco's now alongside Elmo, and Adam's made it all the way back up to 10th. So the TCR teammates are back together again. Adam now looking to get past his teammate. Adam's had quite a lot of incidents at the hairpin today already, and managed to get past Elmo. And Upsas has got past Gavin. Upsas flashes the hazard lights in appreciation.
Gavin now under pressure from Koivunen.
Koivunen gives him a love tap.
But just to underline what extraordinary performance Upsas is presenting us today, the other three of the top four, Pedro, TJ, and Unite, they didn't have that much luck. Unite is in 20th, TJ in 30th, and Pedro in 32nd.
So yeah, Upsas showing that he is the man to beat here today. Won the first race by quite some considerable margin as we've got a pile up in turn 1.
Kit was driving into the back of Jaban.
Yeah, definitely contact between those two. Look at Ziban's car, absolutely messed up. That car has seen better days, that's for sure. The rear quarter panel's about half a foot shorter than it should be. Upsas, meanwhile, is inside the top 10 now. He's moving past Elmo. He's surely going to make that stick. Yep. Around the outside, nice and simple. So Upsas has made it into the top 10 from the back of the grid. That's impressive in 12 laps.
Yeah, but round the last corner comes Redbot scoring a victory from pole position.
Yeah, it didn't look like he was going to hold on to it for some point, but he has, and he's held on to it in fine style ahead of 4 TRR drivers: Kryn, Hydro, Texas. Then it'll be Ben, Silver and Mandula side by side across the line. Then it's Yeraloco, Adam, Upsas in 10th. Elmo, GP, Koivunen, Energy, Gabor, Michael, Poulsen, Trespasser, Frank, Unite, Reject, Gemini, Salmonen, Mega, Gustas, Catilla, TJ, Magic will be next across the line, side by side with Zeban. Then it's Firexter, Pedro. Then it's the crowd favourite Kid, home in 33rd. And Ayub, having made one trip down the pit lane, will bring home his XRG to finish 34th and last of those who are going to finish in race 2 of round 12 of the TRR 2020 Championship. That was an exciting race, wasn't it? Plenty of incidents and accidents, as well as some nice overtakes and good battles. Not all of it good, but action nonetheless.
Yeah, very good action. I mean, as you said earlier, those cars don't have any downforce, and some say they don't even have any power. So overtaking was going to be a bit more of well, the touchy sort.
Definitely. Well, we've been given an absolute treat today with that, so I think we can be very thankful for the racing that we've seen. We'll see if anybody wants to jump in for an interview. We've got Silver. Hi, Silver.
Hi.
How was your event? How did you enjoy both of those races? Plenty of action.
You can say that. No, but the first race was fast drivers in front, so I couldn't. I didn't have the pace to follow them. But the second race, I think I got a mega start and got from like 20th place to 6th, I think.
Yeah, you did very well. Very well indeed. Someone else who did very well was Upsas. You didn't end up having to battle him in this race, I don't think, but still he managed to get from the back of the grid up to the top 10. So really nice driving from him. Not a great showing for NRT today. Crucially in the Teams Championship, I think you and Yes Motorsport will still be very much together, but Yes Motorsport probably still out front, would you say, after today?
Yeah, they have a. I don't know the gap precisely, but they have a gap to us now. But it wasn't our strongest event. We tried, but the Yes Motorsport driver set some really pace out there today. So not much for us to do. We just tried to keep focusing and try to push as hard as we could. But when we first start fighting in both races, when we first start fighting, you're losing so much time down to the other drivers. So yeah, they got the advantage there. But we will see. It's still a long season.
Definitely. While I've still got most people watching, just a reminder that next week's event will be 2 15-lap races at Rockingham ISSC in the FO8, the Formula V8. For the second time this season, we'll be driving the Formula V8. This time at Rockingham, which I think will be our second or third trip to Rockingham this season already. Also this weekend, if you want to put a team together for the 4 hours of Aston Historic, you can do that by Friday. 30 minutes of qualifying at 4 PM UTC, 5 PM CET on Saturday, followed by a 4-minute solo or team race. It's your choice. That'll be broadcast in full live on Twitch by myself, Jonathan Palmer and Tilo, and a bunch of other people. So that'll be good fun. Join us on Saturday for that if you fancy it. Thanks, Silver, for joining us. We'll hang around for a few moments in case any other drivers fancy an interview. But otherwise, let's take a quick summary of today's race. Tilo, your summary.
My summary, well, a very, very big accomplishment by Upsas, who was really the man to beat today. The first race, he really kept those fast guys behind him with TJ, Pedro, and Nico Pantola. And in the second round, he showed that although this car on this track is very difficult to get around each other, he managed to make the top 10. So I think this is the biggest thing about this race. Of course, also congratulations to Redbot, who finished the second race from pole position into the win. And yeah, very nice action throughout the races. But second race was, of course, more action-packed.
Certainly more chaotic. Yeah, we'll go into the incidents and accidents during post, but for now, thank you very much for joining us for round 12 of the TRR 2020 Championship. Join us next week for round 13, or if you're around this weekend and fancy doing some endurance racing, either on your own or as part of a team, then potentially we'll see you at the 4 hours of Aston Historic live in full at about 5 o'clock CET on Saturday. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being here, Tilo. Thanks, Silver, for the interview, and see you next week.